Now, went through this last week, probably go do it again every week until we get everybody figuring all this out. Kind of color coded it a little bit, trying to help you guys. That way y'all can see it, visualize it. Now, you got the blue right over here. What is this? What is this?
High and low zone.
High and low zone, but with it being blue, what is it?
Cold water.
Cold water. All right. Now, cold water goes on what floors? It originates on what floor? Where does it come from?
Four.
Okay, then it goes up to
12.
12. Then it goes up
Stays up.
to 20. Okay. Now, does it come back to 4?
Nope.
Nope. Goes down the drain. Now, this main, where does it travel up at? Housekeeping closet. So if you ever have a leak on 20, 12, or 4, where are you going to shut it down? Housekeeping closet. 4 on 4 under where the housekeeping closet would be. Now, the red, the 8, what is this?
Hot water.
Hot water. Okay. Now on the 4th floor, what size line do you have?
3/4.
3/4. Why is it only 3/4 on the 4th floor? Recirc. 4th floor only has recirc. Now, on 12th floor, you have, what's this one?
3/4.
3/4. And the other one?
2 inches.
2 inch. Now, your 3/4 is what? Recirc. 2 inches,
Supply, straight run.
main supply. Okay, so if that be the case, on the 20th floor, what are you gonna have? 3/4, or are you gonna have a 2 inch?
2 inch.
2 inch. Because there's no recirc on the 20th floor. There's no shut-offs for recirc on the 20th floor.
Those that come down, those that.
Now, this is a little different. It goes up through the housekeeping closet, and it comes down on each riser. And they all meet back on 4 and go back to whichever pump. All right, so now that's the domestic water. The reason why it's called domestic water is because you can drink it, you can use it to bathe in, stuff like that. This right here is your chilled water and your heating loop. You don't want to get this on you. This water's probably been in the system for years. So it's pretty gross. Yeah, strictly used for heating and cooling. All right. So now you've got 2 actuators. These right here are the actuators.
You got domestic, and what's the other name for the other water?
It's the
Non-potable?
huh?
Non-potable?
Yeah. So you got the actuators on both sides. Now, why have you got 2 actuators?
Hot and cold.
Nope. Why have you got 2 actuators?
2 different supplies.
Nope. Close. That's right. You got a supply and a return.
Yeah, yes.
Both actuators act opposite of each other. So if this one goes up, this one's going to go down.
Okay.
That one goes down, this one goes up. Which is why on the supply side you're gonna have the heat on top and cold's gonna go on the bottom. On the return, your cold's gonna be on top and your heat's gonna be on bottom. So they're backwards of each other. Now, this valve right here, when should we turn that valve off?
Yeah.
What do you think, Lucas? When should we turn that valve off?
When it's hot outside?
Nope.
Yeah.
Kenny's right. You never shut these off. The only reason those are there is in case you have to do work on that riser. And that's the valve on this side that goes up the riser. Now these back here, so if I shut this one, if I turn this valve down, turn this valve down, so that means this one's shut and this one's shut. Am I in heating or cooling?
You're in cooling.
Cooling. And if I shut both cooling and open the heating, and heating.
Heat.
Now, do I ever shut off all 4 valves?
No.
No. That will bring air into the system and it will cause your whole system to get airlocked. Then you have to go up on one of the higher floors, drain the unit, drain the air off the unit, pull the water back up to it. It's a whole big mess.
Energy.
You always do these in groups of 2. The 2 heating or the 2 cooling. You'll never open these 2 at the same time. You'll never open these 2 at the same time. Any questions on that so far?
Are we ever gonna get to a point where they're all gonna be open at the same time again?
Yes. So,
Be on the 4-way.
now that we're
Do the same one,
to this question, this is the way they actually should look. What we're gonna do is right now we have 2 rooms in the hotel. Room 533 and 534. They have a different thermostat. They have 2 what they call Belimo valves in it. Basically what that means is these 2 Belimo valves are going to do the same thing as we're doing here. Except this is going to work towards this one thermostat. So each room will be its own individual area. We'll basically be turning a 2-pipe system into a 4-pipe system, to where you can have heating and cooling in the same room. We've been approved for 20 rooms. This project will start in March. We've already got the first 20 rooms picked out. Once we determine 3 to 6 months down the road, we go back, we take a look, review those 20 rooms that we did, see how much the calls have dropped. If the calls have dropped dramatically, we go through the rest of the building, which will help us tremendously. So, hopefully these 2 rooms right here will turn into 499 rooms. Or technically
Do you have to do
500.
anything special to the riser on 33, 34?
Nope. Just leave them all open.
Okay. So you can
Because
actually leave-
basically what happens is, when you put that Belimo valve in,
Mhm.
it leaves the cold water flowing all the time, and your heat turns into your heat strip. You start heating by electric instead of by water or by steam. So with those Belimo valves, it helps whenever you put that independent thermostat, That way we don't have to worry about motion sensors on the doors. We don't have to worry about the motion sensor on the thermostat. We don't have to worry about programming the thermostat to a specific room. All that stuff. So that eliminates a lot of the headache that we have. So now, you had a leak on a riser. So this is your recirc right here on 4. And the leak was right here. A little pinhole leak. Now, instead of just band-aiding it and you wanted to fix it, what would you do?
Cut the water.
Cut the water off. Now, how am I going to cut the water off?
Above and below.
Above and below and before and after. So you're going to find the valve here, find the valve here, find the valve here. That way you've isolated that leak into that one little section and you stop water from flowing in, flowing back in, or flowing down. So there'll be no water on this. You cut here, put a T in here, put your piece of PAX in, you're good to go. Then go back and open your 3 valves again. Now, if the leak was back here, you would have to just fire 2 valves
It was just
on the straight run.
pipe. Long pipe.
The only time you're looking for 3 valves is if you're going up.
The T is involved.
If the T is involved. And sometimes you have to go back because these 2 valves may have quit working. You may have to go out and find the next 2.
Next to, okay. All right.
So you always go in pairs of 2. And a lot of times with these recircs, especially here, you'll hear the water shut off. Because you can just hear it running through the pipes. There we go. All right, now when we're switching over from zones, on the zones over there, we switch from heating to cooling. So according to this screen, what valve should be open on zone 20?
235.
Yep. What valve should be open?
Cooling valve.
Cooling return and cooling supply.
Yeah.
On every other riser, what should it be?
Heating.
Heating.
The heating should be open.
Heating return.
Heating return and heating supply.
Yep. So now you get a call for all right, so say you get a call that says front desk in the back office, we're too cold. What air unit am I going to go to change the back office? You'll catch this more than anybody. This call. You'll catch this call.
Accounting and PBX.
Counting and PBX.
So exec office is on 3.
Yeah, executive offices would be like Kyle's office and sales. And then there's also air handler 4, which is another part of sales. So there are two separate air handlers. But like right now, discharge air temperature is at 80 degrees. There should be no reason why they're too cold. The discharge air temperature right here should never be changed.
Shut off.
That's on automatic all the time. All that is still recording. This is just a thermometer. This doesn't change anything. To change this air unit, Go up here to discharge air temp set point. And you'll change that from either 80 to whatever. If they're too hot, you'll change it down to 65 or 70. If they're too cold, you'll put it back to like 80, 85.
Say if it's in, if it's, say it's in 80 degrees, and so they want that room cooled off for some reason.
Yep.
So we change the discharge air temperature set point.
Right.
And do we mess with the heating or cooling valve?
No, because in a perfect world, this should take care of itself.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Now you always make sure, like if you change this and this number doesn't change, then you know you got to look over here.
Okay.
Or if you see red beside that number.
Okay, all right. And one more question before we leave. So in a so do we ever switch it over from
Right here.
occupied? Okay.
Yeah. If they're too hot, but you notice that it's 60 degrees outside or whatever,
Yeah.
you can always turn this air unit off.
Okay.
And that'll be a quick fix for it, and then you can regulate from there afterwards.
And that would be unoccupied.
Right.
Okay.
You switch it to unoccupied.
Okay.
All right, so basically, you get called up to a room, guest calls down, we're too cold. We know we're in heating. Room 1212 is in heating. Engineering. Engineer. All right, now, guest comes in here. What's going on? I'm too hot. What can we do? Or I'm too cold. What can we do? What's your answer going to be?
Gonna make some adjustments.
We're going to make some adjustments. Now, whether the only adjustment you make is opening those valves, you're still making an adjustment. Flip the unit off, open the valves, turn the unit back on. And when you're looking at the valves, those are the two valves you're looking for. And you're going to look for the 120 volt light switch on the side of the unit. And you're going to listen for the motor control valve to open. Put your sealing tile back in place and then come around here. Now, have y'all ever noticed that I turn the thermostat up to 80?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
So you can get your full extent of the heat.
So you get the full extent of the heat. Take your temperature gun, shoot it, make sure that you're getting, I think right now it's 120 degree heat. All right. Last thing we're doing today. Code 1's called over the radio. What are we responding to? Fire. Now, they call code 1, stairwell 1, 6th floor.
Go to the 7th or go to the 5th floor?
Go to the 7th or the 5th. Why do you not go to 6?
Because you open that damn door, you can find where you find
Yep.
it. I was open.
Yeah.
I'll edit.
A whole lot of fire.
So why do you not go back to the 6th floor?
Those 6 floors, if you're gonna open to some fire, you're gonna get cooked.
Right. You always go a floor above or a floor below. Touch the handle, see if it's hot. If it is, move up to the next floor. Okay? Now, on a code 1 fire, there's 2 engineers on shift. Because we're starting to get more people in here. We have 2 people on shift. Where does one person go?
Computer.
One person goes to the computer. Where does the other one go?
To where the fire alarm is going off at.
The location.
Okay.
Now, after you've checked the location and it's clear, what do you have to do?
Turn off the fire.
If security is not here,
Make an announcement.
turn off the alarm, make an announcement. The announcement's listed down there beside the terminal. Lucas on 3rd shift, you'll be here with probably contract security, so you're gonna have to tell them what to do. You'll come up here, you'll acknowledge the alarm, and you'll call security over the radio and say, hey, we need to make the announcement. Do you know where to take them to? The room down there on the 1st floor? Yep, right across from Subway. All right, code 2. What's code 2?
Medical.
Medical. All right, 2 people on the shift. One person goes where?
To the scene, one goes to the elevator, that's what.
Well,
First one.
the first one goes downstairs.
First one goes downstairs.
Yeah, to the motor entry. And then the second one goes to the elevator. Get out the elevator. To go to the scene, we would have to have 3 people on. Usually security will be here to actually go to the scene and then we'll do the support. Yeah. Okay. Code 3. Security. What do we do in case of code 3?
Find out location, what's the location, this position, clear this for power instructions.
Help security with whatever they need. They say, hey, go grab the elevator, you go grab the elevator. They tell you to go grab the door, the door. Code 4,
Engineering.
engineering code. Usually on a code 4, you'll hear a location, and that's it. They won't say code 4, 1414 flood. They'll say code 4, 1414. So we know there's an engineering need in that room of some kind. Or they'll say code 4 fitness center. Code 4 elevator. Technically, whenever there's a stuck elevator or an entrapment, that should be a code 4. What do you do in code 4? Say there's 2 people on shift. What do you do in code 4?
It's a flood or something?
Well, if it's a code 4, it's anything engineering.
All hands on deck.
2 people on shift, both people better be running to that code 4. If it's 1414, both of you better get up there. Or code 4, 20th floor, elevator landing. Y'all 2 remember that one. I think it was before you started. Right, that flood on the 20th floor in front of the elevators? On a Sunday?
Yeah.
Hmm?
I think I was here.
Yeah, it may have been right after you started. Yep. Sad part was, I was already here by myself that day. I was like, holy crap, what else is new? All right, code 5, weather. Now, code 5 weather, tornado, Regency Ballroom. Now, in case of a weather emergency, we assist on the floors. We make sure everybody's out of their room. What's the quickest way to get the people to the Regency Ballroom? Well, what's the quickest way to get their attention? To get them out of their room? Pull a fire alarm.
You can get on, pull on fire alarm.
Pull a fire alarm station. The closest one you can find, just go over, pull it. Because that's going to set off the fire alarm. Everybody's going to have their attention focused on the lobby. If there's 2 of you here and only one is security, tell security, go make the announcement. We'll take care of the rest. Go up, pull the fire alarm. Everybody will come outside. They'll make the announcement. There's severe weather coming. Please come down in an orderly fashion to the Regency Ballroom. Now it's your job to try to wrangle these people and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Take your time. Let's go down the staircases. Now, in case of a fire, where do we go? Park. Park across the street. The park that you see when you walk out on 4th. Now, there's another code. It's not listed on here. Code 6. Media. What do you do? There's 2 people on shift, and cameras show up at the dock, and that's where you're at.
Get away from it.
Get away from them. The only person in this hotel that's allowed to speak on anything that happens in the hotel is Kyle. Kyle will make a statement. If somebody corners you, I have nothing to say. You can speak to my GM. Walk away. I have nothing to say. You can speak to my GM. Don't ever let anybody see you with your face on the news. We had that problem before. Now, anytime in a code, you hear this traffic come over the radio. Front desk to engineering, hold traffic, clear traffic, we're under a code. All you gotta say. Now, all 4 of us are certified, right? CPR. Okay. Now, code Code 2, 1516, person not breathing. Security's not here. What do we do? Okay, security's not here. We get a medical emergency. All of us are certified.
Oh.
One person goes to the room, the other person goes to the elevator. After you get the elevator put independent, switch up with the person. Because they're going to be tired. Because in the time it took you to go get the elevator, get it put independent, they've already been doing CPR for at least a minute, maybe 2. You go back, you tell them, we'll switch off. They'll go over the elevator, they'll take it down to 1. Hopefully by then, first responders will have arrived. Because if by some chance nobody's arrived, use your best judgment. If it's 2 minutes in, after you've switched off, it's about 2 minutes in, go back up there and relieve them again. Keep switching off that way. Always protect each other. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the only other person who's going to have your back is the person on ship with you. Or the people on ship with you. So anytime you enter a code on a shift and there's more than one person, you have to be on the same page. Work it out. Hey, in case the code happens, I'm going to do this, you do this. And that's the way it is.
Communication.
Because that way you've already got that plan in place. You're not going to panic because you've already got a plan. So if you already started out the shift and you already know what's going to happen, I don't care if you work together 1 night a week, if you work together 5 nights a week, y'all have a plan in place. Any questions on anything that we covered tonight at all? Next week we're going to be working on leaks. We're going to be working on band-aids and repiping. So be sure to be here. I'm going to go get the paperwork.